car's in for a tune-up today, so my dad let me borrow his, which is pretty nice of him because it's a new car. It's also a lot smaller than the one he had before. See, he decided that a small car was a lot more practical for city driving than a big car. And he's right, unless you really need a big car. Besides, think of all the advantages of a compact car. They cost less, they're easier to park, easier to drive, and they use a lot less gasoline. And that alone is pretty important these days. I know this sounds kind of far-fetched, but if all cars were small instead of big, maybe our streets wouldn't be so crowded. Wouldn't that be nice? Well, in any case, do you know that more people than ever, like my dad, are buying small cars? And I just think that's great. Don't you?
Your sports station in Los Angeles, this is Channel 5, KTLA.
KNBC, Los Angeles. Weekend news service for Saturday, April 6th, with Marianne Mascari, Pat Downey, and Don Harris.
Good evening. An impromptu summit conference of sorts is underway in Paris. President Nixon is right in the middle of it. Earlier today, Mr. Nixon talked with British Prime Minister Wilson and West German Chancellor Brandt. Tomorrow, he meets with Soviet President Podgorny and Japanese Premier Tanaka. What brought these world leaders to Paris was the memorial service today for the late French President, Georges Pompidou.
Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, leaders or representatives from more than 80 countries all over the world met this morning to pay their final respects to the late President of France, Georges Pompidou. Generals mixed with kings, and kings mixed with communists. President Nicolas Podgorny led the delegation from the Soviet Union, and the President of East Germany attended, the first time he's ever been in France. President Nixon came, as he had for the funeral of Charles de Gaulle in 1970. Whatever their political differences, Nixon had admired both de Gaulle and Pompidou. For the Requiem Mass, the choir sang a Gregorian chant, the prayers Pompidou had most admired in the Catholic service. During the service, Nixon sat quietly, except when Willy Brandt of West Germany tapped him on the shoulder, then leaned over to shake hands. The Requiem Mass was solemn, simple, and short. When it was over, President Nixon walked out of the cathedral and into a conversation with President Podgorny. This almost casual sidewalk chat was the start of a busy day for President Nixon. Lloyd Dobbins, NBC News, Paris.
After tomorrow's meetings, the president is scheduled to fly back to Washington.
First, the tornadoes, now another tragedy in Xenia, Ohio. Today, 4 National Guardsmen sought shelter in one of the few stores left standing in town. The building caught fire, killed 2 persons and injured 2 others. 35 people died in Xenia when those tornadoes hit earlier this week. In Jasper, Alabama, there was no loss of life from the tornadoes, but recovery is still a long ways off.
The tornado struck the center of the downtown area. No one was killed and only a few people were injured. But the city was left with the massive task of putting itself back together.
Gentlemen, we're gathered here today to try to coordinate some efforts to rebuild Jasper, which was virtually destroyed, the downtown business section.
The city and Chamber of Commerce officials are asking state and federal representatives to help in the reconstruction effort. The city knows it needs all the help it can get. Hundreds of relief workers and citizens have begun the job of clearing away the debris left by the tornado. Jasper has been without electricity or telephone service. This weekend, utility workers are trying to get the phones and lights turned on again. Getting the local government running is going to take longer. The tornado demolished some public buildings and damaged others beyond repair. The jail probably will have to be torn down, and so will the county courthouse. The total damage in Jasper has been estimated at more than $100 million, a rough estimate.
There's no telling the damage is done until we can get farther in to see. But it's the biggest disaster that we've ever had in Walker County. I've lived here all my life, the Lord has blessed us, and this is the first anything like this has ever happened. We can rebuild buildings, but we can't rebuild a body. The people is willing and ready to start building back. And I think that the downtown will all be built back.
The weather may have been cruel to the Midwest. It was our time to have a beautiful, gentle day, beautiful by any standards, by any point of comparison. Sunny. Temperatures up to 75 downtown today. Right now it is 63 at the Civic Center. Up to 80 degrees tomorrow in the high deserts, 85 in the low deserts, 86 in Palm Springs and sunny, 60 degrees in the mountains. Skiing in the local areas is pretty poor. The season is just about over, but up at Mammoth, they're still reporting good conditions, just fair conditions at nearby June Mountain. 69 up San Francisco way with fair skies, a balmy 74 in St. Louis. It's spring there, partly cloudy. At home tomorrow, temperatures up to 75 degrees, overnight low of 55, sun all over the place, I imagine, and just about another disgustingly beautiful day.
It happens every hour on the half hour in Los Angeles. It happens every hour on the hour in San Francisco. It happens even more often at peak periods. PSA, the unofficial state bird of California, flies between the two cities hour after hour after hour. Nothing cuckoo about that.
Harry, when I talk to this neighborhood loan consultant, you're sure there's no obligation? None. I'll get a good deal. Home Savings is the leading lender among all associations in housing, apartment houses, selected commercial or industrial properties. Does that tell you something? Sure does. And you? For your real estate loan, just call any office of Home Savings and Loan Association, an equal housing lender, the leading lender.
Does your family need parent-child counseling? Info's West Valley Counseling Center gives confidential help with your problems.
Thousands of rock music lovers are on their way home now from the Ontario Motor Speedway. The traffic around there is a mess. The day and the evening were spent listening to big-name rock bands. The whole show was dubbed the California Jam. The jamming started with parking lots that overflowed into nearby vineyards. Attendance estimates run as high as 250,000. Despite the crowds, there were no serious disorders. The only serious problems were too little water, too few restrooms, and not enough first aid stations. Asked why he would go through all that, one fan explained, if you can party all day and party all night, why not? Besides partying, it was also fairly easy to buy gasoline in Southern California today. Auto Club spokesmen say 89% of the area's gas stations were open for business today. Tomorrow, about 22% will be open.
Senator Laurel Weicker claims that there's still another White House list. Weicker says this list has 50 celebrities on it whose secret IRS files were looked into by the White House. And among those said to be included, Governor Ronald Reagan, who refused comment on the report. Governor Reagan may not want his job as governor any longer, but there are plenty of Democrats who are anxious to take it over. Tom Pettit has that report.
Reagan got into office by beating Governor Edmund G. Brown in 1966. Now, Edmund G. Brown, Jr. is the leading Democratic candidate to succeed Reagan. He is currently Secretary of State. He is usually called Jerry, not to be confused with his father, who is usually called Pat, although many voters do think Jr. is Senior. Senior is not running. Jerry Brown has 17 opponents.
Joe Alioto of San Francisco has run one of the most effective local offices in the country in a great city, done it well. He's respected across the country for having done that. The mayors know that. A lot of other people do, too. He brings those qualities to the state, and I think he'd be a great governor of California.
We have a tremendous amount of petroleum and gas, uranium and coal in this country. The fact is, they haven't been doing what they need to do in this country to provide our citizens. They've been in Europe. They've been providing them because they make more profit. That's what it's about.
Moretti is State Assembly Speaker.
And then there's the individual Democrat, William Matson Roth.
Roth is a San Francisco millionaire.
The Herb Half campaign for governor has been called the most exciting campaign in California's history. I'd like you to find out why. I'd like you to see what we're doing.
Herb Half is an attorney.
Can do a lot.
The commercials for Congressman Jerome Waldy have not yet appeared on television, which is very important in California politics. The last of the main candidates is Baxter Ward, a Los Angeles County supervisor, who has a high recognition factor from his days as a television anchorman.
California is not a springboard.
60% of the voters are undecided, and most are unexcited. Moretti, Alioto, and Waldy are known, but negatively. Roth is becoming known favorably. At this stage of the campaign, the most popular name is Edmund G. Brown. And even if voters aren't sure whether it's junior or senior, may not even matter. Tom Bennett, NBC News, Sacramento, California.
Good morning, Walter. Glorious day to be alive, isn't it?
Oh, Jonathan, come home quickly. I miss you already.
The Volvo 164 provides the luxuries people of wealth consider necessities. Seats that let them sit on leather, air conditioning, power steering, and since the rich do travel in fast circles, an aggressive 3-liter fuel-injected engine. But above all else, the 164 is the first luxury car built like a Volvo. And out in the real world, you need all the Volvo you can get. The Volvo 164, a civilized car built for an uncivilized world.
Welcome to Busch Gardens.
Hey, it's the friendly eagle.
How would you like to experience a world of difference at Busch Gardens?
Busch Gardens, it's a world of beauty, talent, excitement,
This is quite a ride.
laughter, all in one place. A different experience you won't want to miss.
Come to Busch Gardens. Experience a world of difference.
There's 3 more left. 13 stranded by Chicago and 11 by 9 innings. 4, 14, and 3 for the White Sox. They've left 13. 4 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Angels. They've stranded 11. Terry Forster and Brian Downing, the battery, and Ron Santo goes from designated hitter to third base, replacing Melton, who was hit by that pitch and then thrown out at the plate by Joe LaHood. So the Angels build up a 4-1 lead, but the Sox rally with 2 in the 8th and 1 against May in the 9th before Selma can retire Alvarado with the bases loaded, after Santo very nearly won it with his base hit to left field. Lee Stanton, 3 for 4 today. And what a play by Dick Allen to Forster for the out. Good actions by Richie Allen. Excellent athlete. So Stanton's bid for a 4th hit denied by Dick Allen. He moved quickly and able to get that toss to Forster for the 3-1 putout. Ellie Rodriguez, a double in 3 official at-bats today. Boy, it's got to be tough facing a man who can throw as hard as Forster in this weather. Remember, 6 o'clock tonight, the Bucks and the Lakers, 2-0. Ellie on deck, Davy Chalk. So this crowd settling back after a noisy 9th. 2 balls, no strikes. 3-0. Yeah, we'll reintroduce the Sox alignment for you. There have been several changes made by Chuck Tanner. Forster and Downing the battery. The infield, Santo at third, Alvarado at short. Orta and Allen, the 2 men who started on the right side, still there. May in left, Henderson in center, Bradford in right. 3-1 as Forster hits the knees with a fastball. Rodriguez may be taking again. 3 balls and a strike. Strike 2. Little looper out behind second. Orta makes the play. 2 away. Orta takes care of the little pop fly off Rodriguez bat, and Dave Chalk steps up. Chalk 0 for 4. He scored the first Angel run after he was safe on a Melton throwing error. Tenth inning, 4-4 tie. Bottom of the 10th for the White Sox. It'll be Bradford, Kelly, and Henderson. 1-1. Slider running in on Davy Chalk.
Dick, I was just thinking, I didn't know if you passed this along to the people, but they mentioned in the press box that if you see snow on your sets, please do not adjust to me because it is snow.
Fouled out of play. We've seen a bit of everything in this series. If this is any kind of an omen of what kind of 1974 baseball year we're going to have, be prepared for anything. Two and two to Dave Chalk. 2 outs and 0 on in the Angel 10th inning. I don't think I've ever consumed so much coffee in my life as I have in this series. I got it figured out now scientifically. A cup of coffee will last almost a half inning before it gets, so cold that it has a reverse effect on you. Two balls, 2 strikes. Chalk protecting the plate. Mickey Rivers would be next. The Angels missed a golden chance in the 8th inning, had a run in and runners at second and third and no one out. Chalk fouled out, and then Forster came in to strike out Rivers and get Doyle on a pop fly. Strike 3 called, and Chalk can't believe that call. He jumped away from that fastball, but McKean says it's on the inside corner. Strike 3. 1-2-3 inning for Forster to the bottom of the 10th, a 4-4 tie.
Freedom. Financial freedom. Freedom to live the way you want. Freedom to educate your children the way you want. Freedom to retire the way you want. Financial freedom. It doesn't come easy, but you don't have to go it alone. Merrill Lynch has 29 ways to help you fight for it, from tax-free bonds to retirement programs. Merrill Lynch wants to help you fight for your financial freedom.
Good evening. You know who I am. I'd like to tell you about Universal Studios Tour. They have sets, stuntmen, special effects,
Well, we're now leaving
stars.
entering our back lot. This is known as Colonial Street.
You do meet the strangest people on the tour.
Bottom of the 10th inning, the White Sox and Angels 4 apiece, and Skip Lockwood is the 4th pitcher used by manager Bobby Winkles. It's not cold enough that the snow is staying when it lands here at White Sox Park, but you can see the infield dirt becoming increasingly moist, and they're using the towel to keep the home plate clean. Buddy Bradford entered the game in the 8th inning and walked facing Rudy May. On that walk, the ball got away from Rodriguez, and on the wild pitch, the Sox scored their 3rd run of the game. Detroit won, Baltimore nothing in the nightcap of their doubleheader. They're playing in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Dodgers 3, San Diego nothing in the 3rd. Right fielder Stanton, if he can find that ball in the snow, and boy, that's got to be tough, makes the play. It's all was like a big snowball coming out of the sky. Bradford flies out. Pat Kelly's spot occupied now by Brian Downing, the catcher. This is first at bat. One and one. Well, Lockwood used to this kind of weather. He grew up in Boston and, of course, pitched in Milwaukee the last few years. That's hooking down the line, and it is a foul ball, but barely. Now, that ball didn't get pushed into foul territory as much as one might think. San Francisco having a big day at Candlestick. They lead Houston 8-1 after 3 innings. 1 and 2. Make that 2 balls and a strike as the scoreboard corrects itself, and a high pop fly to left field. LaHood trying to find it. Hang in there, Joe. It's 2 away. And we didn't get much work on this in Palm Springs. Those fly balls in the snow. There's the baseball parlance. When you get the real light blue sky, they call it the high sky. Now, this is the low ceiling today. Anderson doubled in the 9th inning, and that set up the tying run. Batting right-handed at the time against Rudy May. He's 2 for 5 in the game. One ball, 1 strike. Lockwood, his debut as an Angel. Richie Allen on deck. That's out of play. 1 and 2 to Ken Henderson. If we go to the 11th inning, the Angels scheduled to bring up the top of the order: Rivers, Doyle, and LaHood. The game has been called, so the Angels win 2 and are tied 4-4 in the 3rd game. In and away in this weather, and the fact that the Angels in the 11th inning had 3 left-handed hitters scheduled to bat against the tough left-hander Forster, that may be all right. And it seemed that Tanner was the unhappier of the 2 managers after getting the word. So the final totals: the Angels 4 runs, 10 hits, no errors, leave 11. The White Sox 4 runs, 14 hits, 3 errors. They strand 13. So that's the story from Chicago.
But I think you said to me, as we look at it here, his handle looks like mine probably does, only he means it. Well, that's to rough up the grip. You see, most pros change.
Ever since we got married, all he does is eat. Good thing I found these Hungry Man dinners from Swanson. Look at all that chicken. 4 meaty pieces. Swanson already put the 2nd helping in. There's fried chicken, turkey, 4 Hungry Man dinners with the 2nd helping already in.
She's something, huh?
It's the next best thing to your good cooking. Swanson makes it good.
Jimmy, 1 egg or 2 for breakfast?
Can I go out after lunch?
What's for dinner? Sure smells good.
Finish detergent is made for the way you wash dishes. Finish has 5 active cleaning agents to make sure even big loads get clean and clear. Try Big Load Finish. Get big loads really clean.
The best of the Eastern Conference games will be broadcast. That's the NBA playoffs on CBS, where you see the best in basketball on the #1 network.
Gee, Barnes reminds me of a few years ago of Bad News Barnes. I got news, Bob Cousy. There's a Better News Barnes, I think, on the way.
Oh, yeah, I think this kid is going to make a fine, fine professional.
Look at that block,
for that reason right there. He rejects shots, and he controls the defensive board for you, and he's fluid besides.
Elmore with a shot. He's got it.
He's 12 under par. And he
has two lads on the green ahead of him who are trying for birdies. From about 85 yards, John
beat him in head-to-head competition here last September in a 300-mile race. Both cars were in perfect condition at the finish. It was the first time that Bobby Unser...
Slice serve. Pulled McMillan. Way wide. Flew about a yard behind the baseline. Well, the winner here today will get $10,000. The loser here today will get $5,000. Pillage has only earned a little more than $11,000, and McMillan only a little more than $6,000. Far and away their best days on the tour and the biggest payday of this year by far.
Well, McMillan won one tournament last year, the West of Scotland. That was not WCT. Probably got a bowl of porridge for first place.
Well, 4 games to 3. There's been no service break here in the second set. Village won the first set 7 games to 5.
Now your office can have an image-reducing machine built right into a copier. It's the 3M VHS-R, a plain paper copier that reduces any original as large as 14 by 18 inches down to a handy 8.5 by 11 in seconds. Large originals like accounting worksheets, advertising layouts, engineering drawings. Just touch a color-coded button for the right reduction ratio or make same-size copies. The VHS-R gives you your first copy faster than any other plain paper copier and gives you 3 before most others give you 1. So if you need a reducing machine built right into your copier, see the 3M VHS-R and see our other new generation copiers. If you're thinking about buying or leasing copying equipment, it's time to call your 3M Business Product Center.